Hello, my wonderful friends. Megas here on a beautiful day in Asha. This message is for, of course, the Magi, but it's also for my book club. It's for all my book lovers. And we're going to be looking at the very first statement and teaching of Asha. Before we get to that, though, I want to share a story with you. Many years ago, there was a man that had cancer. And I went to his hospital bed to pray for him. And the doctors had written him off, no hope. They were going to send him home to die because he couldn't eat food and pass it. So he was just going to starve to death. We prayed for him. The doctor sent him home. I got a call from him a little while later that he was eating, drinking, and going for walks around the block every day. He was feeling better. I was so excited. The doctors found out and they said, well, there's a chance now. They had wrote him off. There's no chance. Now they said there's a chance that our treatments can help you now. And he said, you guys didn't help me before. I don't want you. And so he shut that door to them. Was doing good. Then one day I got a call from him. Everything fell apart. He was in horrible pain, dying, couldn't eat anymore, couldn't get out of bed anymore. And so I went into prayer. I'm going somewhere with this. I went into prayer and I was asking God what happened. I had already shot my mouth off to everybody. You know how I am. And now, what is this? And in that place between awake and asleep, I heard a voice that said, there's an issue of Debbie. There's an issue of Debbie. Probably shouldn't have said that name, because I'm trying to, but it's already out of my mouth. So I go to people around him, close to him, family members, and I told him what I heard in spirit. And I said, is he having maybe an affair or something? Did something happen with someone named Debbie? And they said, no, there was a Linda that he had an affair with. But no, I don't know what it was. Well, anyway, he died. At the funeral, I hear a commotion in the back. I go back to see. It's the man's wife that died. And she's saying, I don't want that woman in here. I don't want Debbie in here. She wouldn't let her into the funeral. I heard Debbie. Found out later, Debbie was a woman he was having an affair with. But it was more than that. Debbie was the wife of one of his best friends. It had been going on behind his back for years. He found out. He committed suicide. They had children. The family was destroyed. She was in such guilt. The children were devastated. The husband was dead. My friend that died of cancer, apparently that was too much for his psyche. And the energy that you hold, the guilt, the shame, the sin and error. Now, I've had many people say it's not sin. Right? Matter of fact, in his culture he came from, it was accepted. His dad had a wife and a girlfriend. His grandpa, great-grandpa, had a wife and a girlfriend. It's not sin, Megas. If you're hurting someone, it's wrong. If you're doing something at the expense of another, it's wrong. He knew it. right? It wouldn't eat him up from the inside out if he didn't know what he was doing was wrong inside, even though he had an excuse. It's not wrong. It's my culture. I'm not hurting anyone. Well, you did. And I'm guessing because, obviously, does adultery cause cancer? No. Of course not. No more than masturbation causes blindness, but it's the energy. And that's what I'm trying to get to here. The whole message here, I got this again this morning in that place between awake and asleep. It's kind of cute. The voice actually told me, this is one of those times. I need you to pay attention. I said, okay, I got it. Spirit wanted me to know that people are pushing away that sensitivity that is needed in the world right now. That you are begging out for. You need that sensitivity. If you have, and get this, everybody leaves their body. Right? And so if your heart stops or something, it didn't mean you had sin. Everybody leaves, okay? And I know really good people that have gotten diseases and died, and it seems so unfair and unjust. It's not what I'm talking about. No, you know that. But there are situations where you're holding the wrong energy. It got me thinking a little deeper there too. I'm thinking of some wonderful people I knew that died of a disease, but maybe they weren't holding like a sin necessarily that we think of as sin, but maybe they were holding a broken heart, holding no hope for the future, holding just lower frequencies. And those can be considered sin and error, not like we think of, where there's supposed to be shame involved with it, just a lower frequency. I don't really feel really good right now because of what's going on in the world, and that's pretty normal, right? There'd probably be something wrong with you if you could look around at the horrors going around. Horrors, you know what I mean? Not whores. The tragedies going on around the world and not feel something. But you don't want to hold that. You don't want to let it to drag you down. You don't want the dark world to dim your light. And now it's not a sin that separates you from God. Right? Like the scary religions, the world religions try to put in your mind so they can control you. Get your money, get your time, get your life, take your very soul. They got to keep you in fear. It's not that. It's just low frequency, low energy that's not beneficial to you, your body, those around you. Right? Do you have any family members that they watch certain news programs every night? They get angry, and now they're talking sharp to you and everybody else. They're grumpy, they're mad, they're angry. Right? Now they're blasting their own home, their own body, because they're watching that, right? That dark world is dimming their light. Back to what Spirit was telling me, sensitivity. That's what this was all about this morning. In our book club today, we're going through To Kill a Mockingbird. And Dill, sweet kid, he broke down crying because of the injustice in the world. He's watching a court case, if you know the story. Anyway, he had to leave the courtroom crying, runs into an old man in the park. He says, don't worry about it. As you get older, you'll stop crying. You'll get less sensitive. Isn't that what they tell you, right? Be a man. Don't be so sensitive. Have you ever been told that? Don't be so sensitive. But it's making me sad. Don't be so sensitive. Be a man. And if you're sensitive, you could hear there's an issue of Debbie. Let's work this out and live. But we want to push away our feelings. We don't want to reason and think things out. My God, we're also taught not to reason. Taught in my own church, don't think, don't reason, don't question. You know, my very gift that I have, I've had people tell me, those are demons talking to you. Really? Demons are trying to save the world, heal people, bring joy and life and truth and light? That's what they told Jesus, huh? When he healed, they told him he did that by the devil's powers. I remember getting in a debate with my uncle. He has one of the largest Christian churches in Southern California. He got so angry, so mad, because you don't question. I remember my aunt saying, you're not supposed to think that much into it. Don't question. Don't think. Do what you're told. Repeat and suffer and die. They didn't add that last part, but that's what'll come from that. The world has given us a God, books, a religion that's not good, but they call it good. They call it the highest principle God. And people have taken that energy, that spirit, and even though at one time they were sensitive enough to know when they were a child, oh, mommy, those stories don't sound right. Go in and kill men, women, and children. Take sex slaves. Stone your children when they're disrespectful. Angels, they call them angels, going in and killing the firstborn son. But the Pharaoh wanted to repent, but God wouldn't let him because he hadn't killed their children yet. And he sent an angel. And your little child mind's thinking, red light, sensitive, wrong. Don't you question. You want to go to hell? Who are you? You pay the bills around here? You keep the lights on? You put a roof over your head? You go to work here? You know what it takes? I'm just a kid. That's right. Don't think. Don't reason. Shut up. Spirit was telling me, it's time to get sensitive again for where we're going. Not to the point where you can't function because you're crying all the time. That's not what I'm talking about. Stay with me. I'm talking about recognizing, hearing with that vohomenia, that divine spark, that God mind that's in you. Thinking from this mind, the God mind. Seeing with this, with your heart. And there's always hope there. And as it guides you, it's telling you, don't get sucked into out there. Osher 12 says, there's nothing for me outside. There's nothing for me outside of myself. Quit looking for the answers out there. You don't change it out there. And I know you've heard this, but I got to use it. It's the mirror. The world is the mirror. Which is going to get us to Osher 1, which we're doing today. Haven't even got to it yet. But it's the mirror. If you don't like the reflection in the mirror, it's got a sour face. You want it to smile. You don't go to the mirror and start trying to change the face on the mirror. You change it right here. Osher 1 says, well, let me just read it to you. Matter of fact, if you want to screenshot this, can you see that? I don't know if that would work. If you can screenshot that, that's a statement of teaching of Osher 1. You could probably focus in on it. It says the whole universe vibrates with expectant energy. For God is with child creative thought. You have to realize you are God's stuff. You come from good spirit. You're made of good spirit. You're God stuff. You have creative, you're just like daddy. You got creative thought. And the whole universe, it vibrates, right? Form and matter is just energy vibrating at different frequencies. We got to use the right frequency. That original word, that holy ohm. So, and I love this. The whole universe vibrates with expectant energy. The universe is the mirror. It's waiting for you to command it, to shape it. And we do that with our energy, our frequency, our creative thought, our beliefs at our heart level. It's just like the smile. When you get that true smile on your face, it shows up on the mirror, shows up on the world, the energy we hold. But this energy, I need you to see this. It's on a subconscious level. It's what your heart truly believes. So for instance, let me just use an example. If you're using your positive affirmations, I'm going to be rich. I'm going to be rich. Everything's always working out for me, right? You're saying that with your mouth. You're thinking it with your head. You read it in a book. But if your heart, your true belief is screaming out, you don't believe that. Your heart's repeating everything your mom and dad and grandma and grandpa told you. Our family's never gotten ahead. We're not lucky like that. We weren't born like that. And it's your true belief. That's what's going out. So you have this like 1-2 minute affirmation you're saying with just a little bit of brain power, but your whole, everything you are is saying, no, I don't believe that. Broke is a joke. That's what the universe is reflecting back to you. And then you give up. Oh, that stuff doesn't work. Wasted $9.99 on that stupid book. It's got to come from here. You got to tap into that God mind. You got to be sensitive to find it. You got to shut off the outside. Goodbye, Jehovah's. Goodbye, Allah's. Goodbye, Bibles. Goodbye, Qurans. Sorry, Mom and Dad, Grandma and Grandpa. I got to tune out those teachings you gave me because it's not working for me. I got to go inside and find God. I don't care what the name is. I don't care if you call it Jehovah or Allah or whatever, but I need to find that spirit of good, that spirit that is that pure love and that loving Father and that good God. I got to find that because I sense I come from that. I'm made of that. You got to close off that outside world. You got to go inside to find that God mind. It's easy. And it's good. That's one thing about the religion of the Magi. God is just good. It's so simple. It's never confusing. You don't hear things like, hey, Abraham, go stone or offer up Isaac as a burnt sacrifice to me. You're not ever having to think, is that God or is that not God? Is that the right thing to do? The wrong thing to do? You'll always know because God is just good. And your heart knows what good is. Any father knows it's not right to offer up your child as a burnt sacrifice. Any parent knows it's not right to stone your child. Any human knows it's not right to go and kill the men, women, and children and take sex slaves. You got to kill them all because the sin's so deep in them. But the hot chicks, man, praise Jehovah. There's not too much sin in them. They can be saved. Woo! Oh, people, wake up. Some of these things you don't even have to be sensitive to. You could just think with this brain and figure it out if you weren't so scared. Right? They tell you if they don't get you, God will send you to hell. Ooh, better watch out. Don't think. Don't reason. The whole universe vibrates with expectant energy. Start telling the universe something beautiful. Start believing something beautiful about God. Restore God's image. You've been lied to about him. He doesn't get angry, jealous, hate, war, kill men, women, and children. He's just good. Restore his image. Start speaking that into the universe with that expectant energy. Go on, tell me more. I like this God. Yeah, God is just good. He's love without the hate. He's peace. He's joy. He's power. He's freedom. He's such a pure love that hate, fear, greed, war, violence can't live in it. Go on, the universe is saying, give me more, give me more. I can work with this. And I come from that God good. And I am a love. I'm a light. I'm a pure light. The darkness flees before me. Yeah, more. Let's go. We'll change the world with this. My friends, what are you putting into that plastic medium? What world are you creating? Let's build a better world. Be sensitive. Listen to Spirit. Quit listening to those lying, whispering voices. You'll know them like that. They're mixed energy. They don't make you feel good. If you don't feel good, it's not God. Any talk of God that doesn't make you feel good is a lie, Meister Eckhart. Find that good feeling, that good emotion, those good thoughts, that good word. Asha 13, the original word of the good religion, all good comes from the Creator and no evil comes from him. From this original word, your spiritual world is made straight and the material world comes into order. And you can say with the Magi, for yourself and one day the collective conscious mind, Asha is, love is, peace is, joy is, God good is. I'm going to pray over you. Yata'ahu, it's a prayer that is said that God prays. And when 1/3 is prayed, the evil spirit and your enemies start to shake with fear because they know something's up. 2/3 is prayed, they fall to their knees. And when their prayer is finished, the evil spirit, your enemies, are removed. Yata'ahu vario ataratush ashat chitacha vangush dazda manango shatina mangush mazdai sharthremchai ahuraya yemdre gubio ... vastarem. Say aloud after me, Asha is. Asha is the perfect creator's perfect idea. It's the original word, that holy Om. It's the sound and frequency that the all-good God created the all-good world with. It's the only thing that could come from a perfect creator's perfect mind is bliss and peace and joy and all goodness without the darkness, without the evil. It's the only thing that could come from his mind, and it's what's true and it's what's real. If you've been looking for the truth, say Asha. Asha is. I choose to hold Asha, and Asha is. I love you.